Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited, super excited to, as in, I don't know, my heart is just glad to meet you. This is like the very first time to meet you. So let's just start from the beginning. No for me, no BS,
That's at all.
all that. We start from the beginning. I know that the very first time that I spoke with you, we spoke for an hour and then something happened. So I'm just going to, allow you to introduce yourself. I know you're a UK based mom of beautiful children. You work from home in the UK. But I know that people want to know, want to glean how you have been thriving in your business, especially in times like this. People who want to, start working from home as well are eager to listen to you and eager to learn from you. So I'm just going to let you have the floor. Over to you, Bumi.
Hello, everyone, or whoever is listening. My name is Bunmi I'm a virtual bookkeeper. I work remotely from home, and I work with anyone, anywhere in the world that is interested in bookkeeping services. As Damnola said, I'm a mom to 3 lovely kids.
Wow.
And the main reason doing what I'm doing, staying at home, because you need the flexibility to work around your family commitments. I know our children, they're heritage of the Lord, and it's key to know how to, manage your time and taking care of them, and not to, how will I say, in all humility, here in the abroad is different.
Yeah.
Especially if you have lived back in Nigeria, it's different from home, Nigeria, because here you don't have your mommies, your grandmas, your nannies and everything. Well, you might be able to afford the nanny if you can, but it's quite expensive here. And it's not even as back home, even with your nannies, you don't have your mom or your mother-in-law, somebody saying they keep an eye on the nanny as they're taking care of your kids. It's so different here. So it's always very difficult to, have a full-time job and have kids, especially when they are young and in tender age, because mine are very young, and juggling everything. And the daycare center, taking your children to school and crèche and after school clubs, all those things come at a very, very high price. So eventually you realize that all you're earning, you're putting it back into childcare. So you just have to think outside the box and think, oh, what can I do? While the kids are home, or even if you have a young one, because I have a young one, I stay at home, what can I juggle while caring for these kids? Also making some income as a woman and, as a mother too, and also caring very well, because there's no one that will care so much for your kids as much as you as a mother. And so that's how I started my journey as a virtual. Initially, was a virtual assistant, like Dami was initially, and someone connected me to her when I was telling someone, out of the blue, someone just called me and said, an auntie of mine, and just said, what are you doing? It's just God that sent her to me. And I told her, oh, this is what I'm trying to do. Maybe God just sent her because there was frustration, just staying at home and you're wondering, you have all the degrees and everything. It's not about the degree or anything, but what can you do outside of motherhood, doing other things? You need to keep your mind occupied with something different, put yourself to work, be productive, as a virtual woman in Proverbs 21 says. And she connected me to Damilola, and that's how I and Damilola met. And she was like, oh, I have a VA, even in Nigeria here. I was like, really? Because I stumbled on the word by myself, by Googling, checking things, researching, and see what can I do from it. And I was shocked that even people in Nigeria use VAs. And that's how she introduced me to Dami. And Dami, so much to encourage me. I'm like, what if Dami can do this in Nigeria and me here? Why can't I do it? We don't have 2 heads. We just have this one head. God has blessed us with so much potential and talents. And that's how I started my journey as a VA.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bunmi, for sharing. And I know, you're one of the people that I remember because your testimony is so profound. I remember after that call, we spoke for almost about an hour, and immediately you called me back. You had gotten your first client, and I'm like, hey, so profound, so profound. And if we can do it, yes, anybody can do it. And before we started recording this call, I know we're talking about a conference that I am currently attending, and I remember one of the speakers saying that as a woman, the time of raising your children is time that, yes, one needs to slow down. And I know that people say, oh, I have the degrees, I have the masters, I don't want to do this kind of job. And I think that's where me and you connect, because why I started this kind of business, home-based business, because of my children, because I want to be present. It's like a lifestyle business. When we speak with people, we tell them, what kind of lifestyle do you want to have? Do you want to be present for your children? Do you like commuting your 9 to 5? Do you want to be home? For me, I wanted to be home when they were back from school, wanted to help them with their homework. I wanted to be a present mom. And that's why I'm here today. I'm sure that's why we are here today. So I hear you say yes, you're a virtual bookkeeper. I love that. I think that's like the first time I'm hearing something like that. I love it, love it, love it. I want to ask this question on behalf of somebody watching us. What are the critical first steps you advise somebody to take, somebody that is looking to go into your niche as a virtual bookkeeper? What are the critical first steps they must take as they want to journey to being someone like you?
The first thing I'll tell everybody, like when you spoke with me, is the boldness and the desire. Because if you don't have that boldness and the desire to do it, then nothing will happen. Even if you're afraid and you're thinking, will people use my services? Because I didn't even know you should do it afraid. And the first thing I would say is to get the training, because of course you're doing something like bookkeeping. You have to have the basic foundation, the understanding of what exactly am I doing. You can't just wake up and say I'm a bookkeeper today and you don't know what you're doing. So the first thing I did was to check for basic, courses, because I had experiences good enough in the bank, working as a reconciliation officer, in a fintech, working as a transaction monitoring officer and also a reconciliation officer. But that's not enough. You even as an accountant, you don't even have what you do as a bookkeeper. So it's to first go and get the training. And some of this training is not something expensive. You can go online. Thank God for the technology, the age where we are. There's so much information out there on YouTube, on Google. AI is here right now. So it's to first get the foundation, the basis of what is bookkeeping, what do you do. And there's so much software out there as well, so you can use, that you can learn. You don't even have to learn so many. Like for me, you can just pick one and you're good and in it, Whatever your hands find to do it well. Put yourself into it, learn it. That's just the first thing. Learn the basic, learn the foundation of what you want to do. Get some training. Get people that are already in that field that can train you or mentor you on how to use the software. And that's the first thing I would advise anybody that wants to go into bookkeeping to do.
I love it. I love it. You first of all talked about mindset. I mean, that mindset is key. That's the starting point, is key. Having that mindset that I can do it and I can succeed at it. That's the first step. I know some people are listening to us and wondering, what is bookkeeping? What do you actually do, Bunmi, as a bookkeeper? Please tell us. Somebody like me, I don't know.
So if allow me and permit me in all humility, I'll pretend as if I'm talking to my 6-year-old daughter or a 5-year-old daughter. So to make it as simple as you can understand. So as a bookkeeper, for example, you have a house. I tell people you have a house, and in your house, you have where your kitchen is, you have your bathroom, you have your rooms, you have the sitting room, and where you keep different things. Like when you come back from the market, you don't drop the foodstuffs or anything you buy, you don't put them in your room, or you don't leave it in the living room, it goes to the kitchen. If you buy bathroom items, where, even in the kitchen, when you buy different things go to different cupboard sections of your kitchen. You just dump everything in the middle and that's where it stays. So as a bookkeeper, when a business has a business, they have different transactions. They have different money coming in. And some businesses have different streams of income, and some is just one. So what comes in is called, that sales. That's coming into the business, The transactions, people are paying them for a service, paying them for products, is sales. Then when they too as a business, of course, as a business owner, you can't say you're making sales, and you can't say you're not spending money on anything. It's not possible. You have to give to get back a return. At least whatever you're producing, there's something going into it. It could be goods, materials. So also you're spending money. So this money that you're spending is it's called outgoings. That's the expenses. So this, as a bookkeeper, these sales they are making, the money that is coming in, we have to put them somewhere. We can't just let it sit down there and say, oh, this money has come, it's sat there. We have to label it to say, oh, is this sales? And if for a company or a business that has more than 2 products or many services, for example, you have to say, oh, this is for sales for A, sales for B, you have to put them in the right shelves, the right category. Then for all the expenses, we have different overheads. It could be that you're paying for a software. It could be you're paying for materials. Maybe you're selling clothes and you're going to buy bundles from China or something, or you're producing cake. You have to buy flour. You have to buy sugar. You have to buy baking powder, different things. All this money you're spending, we have to categorize them accordingly. We have to put them in the right shelves, to say, oh, this is the cost of the goods here. So at the end of the year, we pay something that's called taxes, because people pay taxes to the government. We have to remit part of our money to the government. So at the end of the year, we have to calculate, oh, this is how much income I've made. This is how much has gone out. And now overhead, you have to check how much have you made in total. What is the profit of that my business? So as a bookkeeper, my job is to help these businesses put all these things organized, so that when you enter your home, at times we have all this interior decor. When you enter your home, like, wow. So I tell people your bank account or your business is like your financial home. You come into it, you can see everything. You're not confused, like, where's this money? Where's that money? Everything, is like a visual board. You see it and everything is organized. So that's where I come in. I help you to organize your finances. They're in the right places. Even apart from the taxes, I tell people it helps you understand where your money is coming from. Oh, this year I'm making so much sales selling this clothes. And I'm not making, what's the criteria? Or should I increase my, marketing for this sales? It also helps you understand, your finances. Oh, I'm spending so much buying sugar. Why am I spending so much money? Am I getting so much sales on the donuts? It just helps you to understand where your money is going on. Maybe at this month I have to fall back on the money I'm spending on this kind of thing, or I think I'm wasting money spending and where you're throwing your money or anything. It just gives you understanding. And that's why I just come, because at times as business owners, they are busy. They don't have time to sit down and be doing all of this. You might be surprised. They don't have the time. The 1 hour they might even need, it takes more than an hour, but I'm just saying that even some people, it takes them 1 hour. They used to sit down to do all of these things. That 1 hour, they used to sell 20 donuts or 10 donuts. And the money is, for example, I tell people, if you're paying you 100 naira for 1 donut, and in an hour you can sell 200 donuts, and you have 2,000 naira, and you're paying a bookkeeper 500 naira. It's not better for you to use that 1 hour and go and make 2,000 and pay a bookkeeper 500, and you still have 1,500 to keep in your pocket. That's just wasting that 1 hour doing your bookkeeping. So that's how it works.
I love it. I mean, you have even sold me. I'm already calculating in my head that, I need to go and get a bookkeeper to come and help me in my business. I love it. And as you were speaking, I was just sensing that some people are kind of getting interested in this bookkeeping virtual work. And I'm glad to announce that I know that Bunmi has honored us to be one of our mentors at the Scale Up program. So if you are looking for how you can grab her, don't worry, we'll leave the link in the description, and you can just sign up so that you can have her as your mentor. Some people just need that support, so just hold them by the hand. They say that it's faster to get to somewhere when you ask somebody who has been there before. So Bunmi has been down this road before, and she's willing and ready by the grace of God to hold your hands through this journey. Bunmi, can you share some tools that you use? I mean, some people might be wondering, okay, what tools do you use in your business? Can you share some of the tools?
Right. So the first thing I use, I don't joke with it, is my Google Sheets, because you need you have to buy big memory, larger memory. You need it for your organization, like my calendar. Everything goes as I'm working. My phone is like a working calendar. Everything, like now the meeting I had with Dami, and immediately I saw it, I put everything on my calendar so that you're not lacking behind your time. You have to know how to organize your time. And of course, you need your emails and everything. So Google all of it in my meetings, because of course you have to meet with your prospects, your clients. You have to meet. You have a meeting link, and all of this is free. But if you do it as beginners, I didn't just jump up and start paying for this, because we look at how, as a bookkeeper, so how you manage your
manage your finances. Yeah.
So you can start with a free Google, suite, and then as you're growing and you need larger space and memory, you can now pay for, more subscription. And then that's the first thing, because you have to send out emails, you have to have calendars, organize your meetings. Then there are different softwares we use as a bookkeeper. I learned how to use QuickBooks and Zero. And there's also another software called Free Agent. So these are some of the softwares that your customers or your clients, you're going to set up for them. Some of them pay for it themselves. Some of them will ask that, can you help them pay for it? And you put the overhead with their bills. So I use Zero software. QuickBooks, not so much now. And like I said initially, it's better for you to concentrate on the one you love doing most. Don't be jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Your clients are everywhere. The ones that will come will come. So I prefer using Zero. Initially, I trained with QuickBooks, but I can still use QuickBooks. But like I said, I prefer using Zero. And I have some clients too that use free agents. For those two, I don't joke with them. Okay. Those are the major things I use. And the other things, I use trackers. The different trackers, I use a tracker called Clockify, just to know my time, just to know that how many, it's not as much. There's some clients that you bill them hourly. But I won't advise you that hourly, but for yourself to know, how many hours am I working every week? How productive I am? How much more can I extend myself? Because you can't keep saying, hey, client is coming. If you're taking too much at a time, you don't want to overpromise and let's say, you want to do your job. Do what you are able to do, the capacity you have. So if you check your time every week and I can still take on 2 more clients to add these hours to my time. So I don't joke with my time, and every time I check my time, and every week I say, how many hours did I do this week? And I also check how much income would that get me? Am I able to take on more people or not? So I use the tracker called Clockify. I also use another one called Avesta. It's a timer too, and also for invoicing. To invoice your clients also. I use that too. It's called Avesta. So those are the major softwares I use mainly in my work. Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing. There's this question. I wanted to put you on the spot, but maybe let's before I put you on the spot, for somebody, because I know your history, you got your first clients in one ad. That is just, anytime I think about it, is mind blowing. And so what strategy would you advise someone to use who is looking to, get recurring clients? Because somebody might be thinking of starting, but just wondering to themselves, where can I find these clients? There are a lot of people, a lot of freelancers right now in this competitive market. How do I get clients, and how do I get recurring clients?
Thank you. So I'll permit me, because I'm a woman of faith, and I will not always.
Definitely, please. You have the floor.
Everything I said comes from God. God desires you to prosper. As long as you put your trust in God and not in yourself or what you do. I tell people the clients I have is not by my might or my power, but it's divine connection that God has placed you in the right place at the right time. The first client I had after speaking with Dami, I had the boldness and courage to be checking on LinkedIn. And like I said, even that limit is a testimony, like Dami said. That particular application, the first application I did, I put on LinkedIn. At that time, I saw the application and it stood there like, this is what I'm looking for. By the time I wanted to apply, it said no longer accepting applications. I was sad. I still went ahead. I DM'd this person privately as a private direct message. I sent it to her. I said, I won't realize that. When I say, I just realized that she had even worked in one company and worked before, and we shared a mutual, and then I just sent to her, I saw this application, but fortunately it is closed. But still, I just sent that message. And she came back to me like, you can still send your CV. Let me see.
Wow.
But when they say on LinkedIn an application is closed because so many people has applied, that's why in that period they will just shut it down and they're no longer receiving any application. And she got back to me and she's like, that she likes my, my CV and everything. Can we go on a meeting? That was so few days later. I was super excited. Wow. I didn't believe it. I was like, is this me? Like a dream. I was like, pinch me. And we did the second interview. Next, in the third interview, she said she was wanted because she had a VA agency. She had a client and she was getting oversubscribed there. She needed help and she wanted me to come in and work with one of our clients. And they told us to meet with our clients. If our client was happy to work with me, and that was it. And that's how I started the journey. So my first client came from LinkedIn and they were happy to work with me. And and subsequently, don't keep quiet. I know it's not easy. You might say, who will need a bookkeeper? Who will make? I'm not a social media pro. I'm not like that. You won't see on Instagram. You won't see shouting on WhatsApp. But the few people around me, I'll tell them, if I go to my children's school, I don't talk. I'm a quiet person, but I stand next to the next mother with chit chat. I'm a bookkeeper. This is what I do. If you're able to, anybody, say it, let people hear. And if you're the social media type, to social media. So what I do is to attend networking events virtually, which is the good thing about the world right now. You don't have to go out to meet people. I don't know so many people, but I sit down, I go online, attend networking meetings, and let me tell you, don't say because you're in Nigeria or anywhere, wherever you are based, you can go online, check for free networking meetings. You can join. I've been in meetings and people are joining from Ghana, different places. The world is global. Technology has done that for us. You can't say that, it's only people in Nigeria that need your services. You can work for anybody. Right now, if you convert pounds to what they are paying in Naira, my dear, it's a lot.
I know.
You can imagine making even £100 a month. If you convert that to Naira, do you know how much that would be for you? So it has been a leverage for you. You are able to offer a cheaper services because me, I will not charge £100.
Because you are paying bills.
I'm paying in pounds. So for you have to in Nigeria, if you are in Nigeria, you have a leverage. You're able to even charge a bit lower because you know when you convert that to Naira, it's a lot. So just try, don't shy away, don't hide behind this. People will not find you your home. But if you put yourself out there, God will bless you, the works of your hand. God will announce you. That is just it. And just talking to me, I've been to, there's a meeting I just joined. And let me tell you, when things happen, they're not coincidences. It's God that is just positioning in that place. I went for a networking meeting for the first time. And that first time I went there, somebody on that meeting was looking for a bookkeeper. And I was only a bookkeeper in that meeting, a meeting of 30-something women.
Wow.
And she said, when you in that meeting, you first introduced yourself, and as she introduced herself, I said, please, I'm looking for a bookkeeper and a VA. Immediately I sent her, I said, I'm a bookkeeper, and she's not my client. Wow. So you never can tell. Don't say, it might not even be now. Just keep doing it, and God will surely bless the work of your hands, as long as you keep trusting Him and putting your hopes in Him.
Thank you so much. As in, I've been blessed. I don't know if others, but I think this meeting, has, really been for me at this time to encourage me as well and say, okay. I always tell people that, like, if you're an orange seller carrying orange on your head, if the girl is passing my street and doesn't shout, an orange seller is here, nobody will hear. Nobody will hear and call her and say, I want to buy orange. So you are the first, how do they say it? You are the first, I want to say pastor, but it's not pastor. You are the first prophet of your own destiny. That's the word. You open your mouth and speak. And as you speak, you get, so keep telling people, that's so profound. It's so profound. Me too. I'm going to go back to the drawing board and go and start telling people. So we are almost running out of time. And I just want you to share a lesson or a moment with us from your business journey. What's that one profound lesson that you have learned, that you have gleaned, or one moment that you say you can never forget? Is it maybe if you have dealt with a difficult client, how did you handle it? Or with a project that didn't go well, how did you manage that? Just leave us with one final lesson so that we can take with us.
So everything happens for a purpose and for a reason, I would say. Life is, but even in the Bible, it says that there will be trials and tribulations. It never says we'll have it rosy or smooth. Even this business that we are doing, there are challenging times. There are times I sit back and I'm saying, what am I doing? Do I really want to do this thing? That very first client I had, I was happy. I worked with them. I was so happy, but God sent them there for a reason. The client later became a very difficult client for me that was like a nightmare. But in as much as I worked for that, I worked with that client as a general VA, doing the admin tax and everything. But in that client is when I realized I didn't know you could do bookkeeping virtually. But she had a bookkeeper, but they fell out. And so she was like, this bookkeeping is not even hard. That can I just, for the period where she finds somebody else, fit in and do the bookkeeping. She was saying that she wanted me to help her interview the other bookkeepers she wanted. She had this prescription, everything like, this is what I was like doing in my, my previous background. And I was even interviewing some of this stuff, like, this is what I can do. By the time she won't put me through, you can imagine, just within the short hour she was on a break out because she had a full-time job and had a business. She just quickly showed me what to be doing. And to be honest, I enjoyed it more than the VA work I was doing.
That you were doing. Wow.
And at the end of the day, I continued, but she was difficult. And let me tell you the truth, she told me to stop working for her. I was initially sad because it was somebody I was contracting for and I felt bad at the other lady. Of course, that time of period, I felt depressed, like, oh God, why would this happen? But in that was when I found my bookkeeping niche. So when I reflect back, I tell when that some things happen, they don't go right, reflect back and see what gold or nugget can you pick from this thing. And that's what pushed me, propelled me into bookkeeping, because I was not enjoying the general VA, to be honest. But this bookkeeping, I love it. And that's what I'm doing. And one thing I said, even in this bookkeeping, you can't know everything. Nobody knows it all. Even though how many donkey years, 30, 40 years, they don't know it all. But speak up. Working with people that have been in this industry. I don't want people I speak with. I don't know them from Adam. But I join groups, Facebook groups. I ask questions, things I don't know. You can't know it all. Ask people. Like Daniel said, mentors. People are here. That means I'm here. People are here. People have been there. They walked that path. Ask questions. Ask. Don't keep quiet. Even if your client is asking that they don't know, just say, "Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry, I do not know the answer to this thing." Don't be shy. Don't try and do, I know it all. Just say, "Oh, I will get back to you in some few minutes with the right answer." That's just the simplest thing I can say. Always ask.
Thank you so much, Bunmi. I mean, this experience you just shared just reminds me of the scripture that says, what the enemy meant for evil, God then turned it around for good. So good, so good. And so once again, if you are looking to having Bunmi as your mentor, she'll be available at the Scale Up Circle program to mentor you in bookkeeping. We'll leave the links in the description. Bunmi, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, David, for having me.
This is the first time, everybody. This is the first time. I mean, we've been speaking on phone, but I haven't seen her face to face video. I'm coming. Don't worry. I'm coming to visit you in the UK. Thank you.
Yes, amen. You're welcome.
It's such a pleasure having you here. Let me allow you
It's
to
been a
enjoy
pleasure
your day.
speaking with you. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much for doing this with us. Thank you. God bless you. Have a blessed day.
Amen. You too.
Yeah.
Yes. Bye. Bye.
Okay.